King Kong ain't got shit. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good, everybody. How everybody feeling? Good afternoon type time. You know what I'm saying? Feel like this might be the perfect time for us all to take a little, little smoke break. Check some things out. Per the normal, I'm getting the instant together, That's why the show an hour late. The show is an hour late because I couldn't find the incense. And y'all know I like to have the incense lit so we can have a nice little vibe in the room, Like I was saying, nice afternoon. Hoping everybody get to the bag the way they trying to get to the bag. We're going to sit down for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? Smoke a little something. Talk a little something. Discuss a little something. If you got to get back to the bag, I'm going to let you go on and get back to the bag. You know what I'm saying? The day ain't over yet. Can never have too much money. Oh, man. This episode really just going to be putting a bow. I like to get a couple different angles on certain topics and then be done with it. Wrap it up. Yesterday, we talked about the effects that Drake is having on the industry. I did a reaction directly from a video to get my opinions out there. I found a West Coast perspective yesterday, that how they looking at everything. Today, right now, I got a New York-ish frame of mind, because that's both sides. And then we just go move on to the next topic, because we don't want to beat this to death. Today we reacting to the Rap Roundtable. Real New York-ish. They're not all New York-ish, but for the most part, the temperature of the show is kind of New York-ish. Get the fella's opinion. How is all this playing out? What do they think? There's some out there, believe it or not, that don't think hip hop is dead one way or another, regardless of Drake win, lose, or draw. It's gonna all be the same. Nothing's the industry in a lot of people's minds is just too big to change, and I beg to differ. The word change exists for a reason. It's not for small things. Pause. Because I know how some of y'all think. But I don't want to make this too long. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. Keep the YouTube police outside. So while we smoking and drinking and kicking and talking our ish and doing our thing in here, they not in our business. So while y'all going to handle that, I'm going to throw the ears on, get the screen shared. We're going to hop into it. Yeah, as you can see, I didn't have to check my audio today because I did that pre-show. Yeah, I'll get better a little bit. It's incremental steps. I get better. You know what I'm saying? Get that. Make sure that's low enough to where we can hear the fellas talk. Yeah, that should be cool right there. All right, like I said, this is Rap Roundtable. So we're gonna let the fellas give us a 1-2. As you can see, it's an hour and 38 minutes. We obviously not about to go over the whole hour and 38 minutes because they cover a myriad of topics. But if you want to watch the whole show, I'm gonna link it in the description so that way you ain't got to go searching for it. You know what I'm saying? But without further ado, you smoke and light it up. If you drink and pour it up, let's get to this business. Now, hold on, wait. I didn't roll up nothing fresh for this video. because the video was already behind. I'm looking for incense, whatever. I got what I got left of what I was smoking before the show when I was trying to get the idea of what I wanted to react to. Plus, you know, I'm always with the pen. I always got the trusty pen. But rest assured, next episode tonight, in a couple hours, whatever, I will be token and blowing with y'all. But let's get to this business.
Essentially, the name of the song is Whips and Chains. Interesting. You got Neck and Wrist with Hove, now Whips and Chains with Kendrick. I like what they do in there.
See the vision.
I see the vision. So I want to make sure that I get the point here. So after the summer beef between the two biggest stars that resulted in an ongoing lawsuit from Drake, this whole UMG situation, Def Jam's parent company, UMG, for those that don't know, the article says UMG blanched at the antagonist optics of the two of Drake's biggest enemies licking up on wax. Pusha T called their apprehension stupid, primarily because none of the bars in Kendrick's otherwise excellent verse could really be perceived as a shot or even subliminal. It does, however, contain the stellar line, "Thurby taught me how to open up. It also showed me I don't give a fuck," right? Pusha T can barely contain his disgust, recounting how the stalemate with Def Jam played out. They wanted me to ask Kendrick to censor his verse, which of course I was never doing, he explains. And then they wanted me to take the record off entirely. And so after a month of not doing it, Steve Garley, the lawyer over there, was like, "We'll just drop the clips, but that can't work if I'm still there." So they had to let us go too. So long story short, there's more information here that I'll read in a second. But long story short, they were at a stalemate because of a verse that has no perceived Drake disses, but because Def Jam doesn't even want to get intermingled in the legalities of what's taking place from the past rap beef, we're now seeing what we talked about, the issues and the blowback with a rapper suing after a diss record. Everyone is on pins and needles now. Consider Rap Snob. What are your thoughts on this information?
I mean, you hit the nail on the head, man. Like there would be no apprehension here of Pusha T and Kendrick Lamar getting on the record together, were it not for the context surrounding it. And the context right now is not the beef or the battle records or, you know what I mean, the year of back and forth. That's all music. That's all culture. What they don't want a part of is, if Aubrey sued over the Not Like Us record, which was just Kendrick.
When your business needs fast, quality printing delivered on time. When a project needs...
What's the possibilities here when it's going to be Kendrick and Pusha T both on a record together? You know what I mean? And here's the part, and you know, Pusha T said as much in the article. It's like, I bet, like, if you're nervous about the prospect of what might be included in that song with these two together, Kendrick and Pusha T, I can see how that may make you nervous. You know what I mean? Might have you looking like you know, academics. You know,
niggas didn't catch that shit.
But then you listen to the song. Like if you listen to the song, which I'm certain they did, and they realize, all right, there's no actual, if it's true, there's no actual shots at Drake, then what the fuck is the problem? You know what I mean? Like that's the part that's lost on me. I don't understand. Other than
That's a good point that I didn't think about when we were talking about this yesterday. The label has already heard the song. If there's no perceived shots taken, then what's the problem? We didn't touch on this yesterday. If there's no possible chance of more legal business because of a song, because you've heard it, the music labels heard it, their lawyers have heard it. If there's nothing to take from it, what are we talking about here? We're letting one man hold an entire industry captive. So we can't say Drake is 100% powerless, because right now he got the biggest record label out there shaking in their boots, nervous. After they send it to the lawyer send it to a lawyer. nervous. So shout out to Sincere for mentioning that. Because they already heard. It's one thing like, hey, I don't know what the song is or what's said in it. I don't want to take no chances. No, you know what the song is. You know what the title is. You know what's in the song. You know who's on the song. So you're not shooting blind here. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Other than they might think that Aubrey might pull some type of bullshit ass lawsuit out his ass anyway, and include now Def Jam in the papers and in the complaints, just because now they're involved in, you know what I mean, this Kendrick Drake thing with now Pusha T and now Def Jam's involved. Like, it's the snowball effect. Everybody's afraid of the snowball effect because we didn't think we'd get here. We didn't think it would snowball to the point where it's at now with this lawsuit. You know what I mean? And so that's
facts.
That's the focal point. That's the X factor here. Is the lawsuit. Were it not for the lawsuit, this whole thing would be a non-issue. Oh, y'all want to get on a track together? Go ahead, knock yourselves out. But now, you know what I mean? Like, Karen is just fucking, you know what I mean, stomping down the block, approaching you like, oh shit, here they come. There's gonna be another lawsuit. I don't want no parts of this. So like now you gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta make these crazy moves, and that's the shit that we were talking about. Like, once this snowball starts rolling, what are going to be the ramifications of what happens in the game, in our culture, because people are going to be afraid of lawsuits. That's not, you know what I mean? That's not gangster. That's not hip hop. That's not culture. You know what I mean? Aubrey's fucking up the culture, bro.
Get on the night.
Continues to do so.
Wow.
Talk to me, Deanie.
I feel like I wish Mace would say it, because he probably would say some shit like, yo, how Drake got niggas scared to move coke on a block, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's literally what it is. Drake got cats. Think about if you live that street life, you know what it is. It's cats that's scared to hit the block because of what somebody else might do. Man, they got bro, they on fire with this one. It's like being scared to go move the pack on the block. Cause homeboy might be out there. I don't want no smoke with him. It ain't worth the effort. I hold on to my work until he gone. Man, shout out to Deanie, man, cause you gotta frame stuff in street lingo to me for me to get it a lot of times, and that make the perfect sense. That make the perfect sense. Like cats gotta feel some type of way right now. Like, this man can hold up my bag. Drake out here holding up bags. that's crazy, man. Look, I don't like you, but hey, he going down swinging and screaming.
When you think about it from that angle, I get it, bro. As far as take us for instance. We record our podcast in a very decent part of town. You know what I'm saying? A part of town where sometimes they may say it's come up the block and go, boo. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we just leave the area on our own because we don't want to deal with the headache, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want no Karens popping up. I don't know nobody to call the police. I don't want like, who are these big black Negro? I don't want to go through none of that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't want to go through that. So we maneuver. Kind of the same thing, bro. Theme music. Theme music. Okay, good Reverend. Speak his name, he shall appear. What we got? Documents.
Some documents.
Oh my God.
Mace, I was just speaking your good name, brother. But nah, like I honestly, this could be a double whammy effect. Maybe these niggas kind of want it off Def Jam. You know what I'm saying? Like, no disrespect to Def Jam's kind of the graveyard right now. You know what I'm saying? So if you tell me something like, yo, Like, you're denying me a verse, so you're already fucking up the creativity. What if this Kendrick? I mean, he's willing to lose the deal for the Kendrick verse, so obviously he's not willing to have his fucking musical expression and fucking integrity. You know, he's not willing to get that up. So it's either this Rock Nation plan was the play all along, or this verse is something so groundbreaking that he feels it needs to be on the album. You know what I'm saying? Because
I haven't heard nobody put that out there like that yet. Like, maybe it was a play. Hey, ain't nothing really popping over here at Def Jam. No way. Whereas Rock Nation, you can probably get some things done over there at Rock Nation. To be aligned with Jay-Z, and Jay-Z clearly is aligned to some degree with Kendrick and TDE. PG Lang. I'm not putting nothing out there. I'm just saying, like, hey, ideally to me, it would have been sweet. It would have been, y'all know how the phrase we've been getting lately, that chef's kiss, that chef's kiss. You can't tell me it wouldn't have been a chef's kiss to Clips under PG Lang. Clips under PG Lang. That's chef's kiss. That's chef's kiss. I don't care what nobody say. And it would break up all that. The West is secluding themselves to the West. They ain't mess with nobody outside of the West. Yada yada yada. Whatever. Last time I checked, like that was not all West. That was not all Cali. But proceed.
If they told you, Sin, yo, you got to take off Deanie verse, or else we taking away your deal, you would have some trepidation. You get what I'm saying? Unless you wanted out the deal. If you wanted out the deal, maybe Def Jam's not the right place to use that because they're not bringing in the cachet like they used to. But if it was something that I feel like will fuck up your situation, I might have been like, yo, Sin, take it off so you can keep. The fact they're not even willing to do that goes to show you that maybe this verse is, I don't want to say, like how you said how Chad had the secret spice to make the album. Maybe this verse is that secret spice. Maybe Pusha's vengeance and dislike for Drake is like, yo, this collab with me and these two are worth it. The streets need this. Hold
on. Let's hear from Mason. Let's hear from
Hold on. No, because I just want to say something real quick. I don't think
Snowman now.
To remind you that 60% of sales on Amazon come from independent sellers. Tracy from Lilies of Charm.
Yeah, no. I don't think it's all that. I think honestly, Pusha T is just like, he's offended. He's like, how dare you? You know what I mean? How dare you tell me what I can do with my record at this point in my career? And it's Kendrick Lamar. How are you going to tell me to take Kendrick Lamar off of my record?
I think it's more of this. Pusha T seems like he got that personality where you don't get to play with my art. You don't get to dictate what I do. I'm going to tell you what I'm about to do. Now you can take it or leave it. Oh, you don't want it? You don't want it? All right. I'll find somebody else to want it. He seems to have that personality. I just don't see him being on some like schemey, that's almost Drake-ish. Let me see how I can backdoor my way out of my deal so that way I could go over here. That just seemed, he seemed too much of a straight up cat. Like if he wanted out, he was like, look, I feel like he would really be straight up. Like, man, let me about this. Ain't nothing popping over here. I don't feel like we the right fit for each other. Whatever he needed to say to them men to their face, I feel like Pusha T carries himself that way. So I'm not willing to ride with Deanie on the, maybe he wanted out and it was his way to get out, because that sounds like a cowardly way to sleaze out your deal. So I think Sin's on it. I think Sin's on it on this.
Sure. It's like saying take Hove off the record. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? I like, he's like you said in the article, he's disgusted by the whole notion of it.
It's not hip hop. But it's money, the legalities of it all, the potential to sue. is enough that'll put you in that fucked up corner. Am I saying this all right? It's not. I got you, Mace. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I understand their trepidation. And if you think that there's no Drake jabs on that record, you're smoking every kind of dust they got out there, bro. Like there's plenty. It might be a story. It's Kendrick Lamar, so there'll be indirect jabs from like 2 years ago that we didn't catch till 2 years later type shit. Right. These niggas know what's going on, bro. Like, go ahead, Macito.
Yeah, we do got to keep in mind that it seems like we were wrong. Well, yeah, we were wrong as far as all those breaks that it seemed like Kendrick was sliding to this studio, one of the studios in New York, to work on this collab, and then we seen that Push pulled down at one of the shows. And allegedly it was supposed to be like, hey, bro, come on. I see you up there doing your thing. I'm proud of you. Keep stepping on his neck, yada, yada, yada. But I need that. I need that diamond to put on my, to put on the joint. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't that. He's had it for a while. Apparently a few people in the industry already heard the song days, if not weeks ago. So when we hear the song, we're gonna have to keep in mind that we're hearing things that's gonna relate thoughts from about a year ago or so.
Listen, it's looking bad for the OVO camp on this bright Monday morning. It is. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. You know, our PR has been bad for a year and a half straight. You know, I'm not gonna front here. Now, if I am to offer, some, different perspectives, which I generally try to do. Listen, as far as what Pusha T is saying, let me get to that. Shouts to Zip with the Drip. Let's get to that. So, if what Pusha T is saying is correct, listen, it's nasty, right? This is exactly what the Rap Roundtable has been saying. You guys are all echoing the statements. This is, the thought of being censored, even though it sounds pretty crazy to me, a record label thing, take a Kendrick Lamar verse off a song. Sounds, believing that sounds crazy to me. But if I am to believe it, it's nasty, right? So I'm not going to sit up here and be like the Club Paradise, who Job's biggest op out here in the East Streets. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be Club Paradise today, bro.
I love being the top op of Club Paradise. I won't lie.
That's listen, it's a lot of ops, so to be the top op is something. But
don't forget Dreamville.
This is nasty. I'm not gonna try to spin it and say, hey, Drake is really trying to make folks independent and this, that, and the third. No, that's not what I'm doing. But I will say that the whole timeline to it sounds a little bit weird to me, right? Because from the article we've heard this Whips and Chains record that was at the Pharrell show, damn near a year ago. You know what I mean?
I protect the environment. That's how my children see my job, safeguarding our waterways.
The lawsuit didn't happen until after the Super Bowl. So I don't know if it's UMG litigations, which is the headline today, that UMG litigations is stopping this Kendrick Lamar Clips record. That the timelines just don't match to me. And I've been doing the research because I didn't want to come up here and look foolish. Trust me, that's why I'm not up here just defending it blatantly. But the timelines seem a little off to me. A lot of folks are saying, this is, Pusha slickly using this as a rollout. And if he is, then I would use, Drake suing me as a rollout. You know what I mean? I'm not to blame the guy. You know what I'm saying? But listen, it does sound a little bit perfect to me. You know what I mean? Everybody hates Drake right now. You know what I mean? He's suing, which is nasty. He sued me too. Something was going on. Deanie alluded to it just now. And I think
that's the OVO feds coming to get you, Mace.
Wanted to be on Def Jam in 2025. I think this was more of a mutual decision. You know what I mean? Now, It sounds like UMG stopping Kendrick from rapping against Drake on a Clips record, but then allowing, the BBL Drizzy beat to get released on streams, the fucking, the whole weekend flaming them up. Like, why this record of everything? Why the Kendrick record against, or the Clips record? It sounds a little bit, perfect story to me. You know what I mean? And I don't know, Drake can't defend himself because at the end of the day, you are suing. You can't come out and say, hey, I'm suing for this, not for that. So take the L, Drake. You know what I mean? You got to, you know what I mean? That's what you do when you make bad decisions. But I don't know if I necessarily believe this whole Pusha spin to the story, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Wasn't it last week that they were waiting a year for somebody to record a verse? Wasn't that the fucking story for like ever? We're waiting on a verse. We're waiting on a verse. And now all of a sudden it's no. They sued me to get off the record label. I had to do this. You know what I mean? Along with the Rock Nation rollout, it just seems a little bit, like Push is
convenient,
exercising a little bit of hyperbole in what he's saying. How do we know? How to defend any litigation? And if what he's saying is true, then Drake take the L. But I'm saying myself, Push, I'm kind of calling foul a little bit on this, to be honest with you.
Here's what I'll say, and I want to put on my tinfoil hat for this one. Because I too am conflicted here. There's two point of views that I'm looking at. It's a situation where we know from the Drake and Pusha T battle that there was Pusha verses that got blocked by Drake in the aftermath of the battle because he was throwing darts. That happened. We know that, right? So this could be another episode of maybe that black hand is still on the back of Pusha T. So I'm like, because if we have the history and the know-how of that, then it's not that far-fetched to believe that there's still industry politics at play here, right? So I'll say tinfoil theory, maybe this is in fact, we're blocking it. But then Mesito made that point about why this, but that. So it gets me to wondering, it's like, now I don't necessarily agree with what Mace is saying, but I also get to thinking, what is part of it, if this is in fact true, what is part of the litigation from the Drake team that's gotten over to UMG to where they can say, oh, we got your ass, to where now they saying, nah, push it back up. That's where I'm at with it. Because for them to say this song now, because in the midst of it, they're not going to stop BBL Drizzy. Hell no. Shit was popping. It was making money. We're not going to stop The Weeknd. Hell no. It was making money. It's the biggest story in music, not history, but one of the biggest stories in music history and the biggest story in music in 2024, the biggest story of the last 5 years at least, right? We're not stopping anything. But for them to say, you know what, let's stop piling on this guy, the tinfoil theory has me wondering, is it either, has Drake successfully blackballed Pusha T? Or does the Drake team have the upper hand in this lawsuit and it has yet to be reported? So I don't know. I don't know.
You know what though? I was actually thinking the opposite. Like, what if they got everything from the UMG lawsuit side? What if they got everything lined up to where it's like, yo, we got our kill shot lined up, ready. Everything is looking to where and trending to the point where this in the bag. We just need to not agitate nothing else. We don't need no more agitation from us over here. As far as what's already on the books, what's on the paperwork, we got this handled. We can't take no more though. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. Like, because to believe the opposite, I would have to believe Pusha T on some shady shit, and he moving wonky and weird, and Drake has a bigger hand than we all imagined that he could possibly have. I don't believe that. Again, I think that man in his mind thought he was Jay-Z. Ironically, now they about to align themselves to be in the clips with Jay-Z. So I'm not naive. I think the move to Rock Nation is a play, but I don't think that was the original thought. I don't think that came to be until I think maybe some pressure was applied from UMG. Like, we can't afford no more nothing until we seal this lawsuit up, get this win in the bag, and be done with it. I kind of think that battle was kind of a scheme that we just recently wrapped up with. We'll say the round robin, because everybody, their mama, whoever wanted to get in it, got in it. I think that was supposed to be something to show the industry, that look, they talk crap about each other, disrespect each other, this, that, and the third. Nothing happened. I think that was the reason that happened. And Joy was willing to go along with it because that made sense. But what better thing to use for a rollout for an album than back and forth with 4 or 5 different people? All them songs that got racked up. Yeah, we got to start looking at stuff a little closer because it's the time. What Masito was saying about timing, some of this timing do seem a little too ideal. I don't want to say perfect. It looks, the timing of a lot of this looks too ideal. But let's see what let's let them cook a little more.
But on the surface, beyond all of that, I can take the 10-4 hat on. I'm gonna keep the Rap Roundtable hat on because that's what's most important here. This is a problem. Fuck the reason. Shout out to Mace for trying to spin it. I respect that. He did his job. OVO Mace for a reason.
Listen.
But if we're talking about the cloth certified t-shirts are coming pretty soon. Make sure you hit the like button as well. If we're talking about the cloth, this is a problem. In fact, I know we always jokingly, half seriously, sometimes super seriously, disqualify niggas from rap, right? We've already got rid of the body Drake fans. This right here is grounds for disqualification for Drake all over again. Because now, let's say now Pusha T is in fact telling the truth. The mere idea that a label could say, yo, there's a lawsuit, so we don't want the mere threat of a diss getting into that. Boy, that's a problem. A lawsuit causing problems, that's a problem. UMG playing both sides. Shout out to True Thought. All of this here, this don't got nothing to do with rap. Fuck off. Like, we shouldn't be talking about a lawsuit with rap, guys.
Mike Keppel here, Patriot Software's founder. So easy.
Every dish, matter of fact, Hov should sue Nas. Fuck that. Fuck that. If that's what we doing, everybody should sue everybody. From the fucking Big's mom should sue Tupac. Fuck the estate. If this is what it is, if we gotta work.
That's what I was trying to talk about that yesterday. T.I. probably suing Lil Flip or vice versa. Yuck Mouth and Gone to sue 50 Cent. Sue the Game. The Game probably gonna be low on funds, so to get that money to pay him, you go sue 50. You know who got a good case? Ja Rule. Ja Rule in the court paperwork right now, getting it filed. Oh, this is the wrong inset, Brody. It's the wrong inset. What would y'all think? Think about that. If we looked up, let's say this lawsuit gets settled, Drake wins, yada, yada, yada. If we looked up come fall, and we got 2-3 different separate lawsuits with rappers because of diss tracks, what would y'all think? Would that not sour y'all on hip hop? Hey, I'm looking forward to this one album, such and such album coming out as long as this case go right. Think about that every time we talk about an album. Man, as long as the case go cool, bro said we got 14 hot tracks coming our way. Like, come on now. Come on now.
Worry about this now. He really fucked the game up. And then you go on them white platforms and you talk about shit like, oh, rap is weird and rap is corny. All of this is all relative. Fuck all this corny shit, man. I'm completely disgusted that we don't need to be in this situation. And you know what? I'm for it now. Melt the Iceman. Fuck all of that other shit. I am anti-Iceman for the rest of 2025. I can't believe this shit.
Wow.
Yo, And
energy.
and to push back on what Mace was saying earlier, isn't that something that's very easily disprovable? Like, can't you like, you know what I mean? Like, if Pusha T's account of the events that transpired that got him off of Def Jam and caused the whole delay in this album, if his story's not true, that's like somebody could easily just come out and say like, "Yo, he wildin'." Like, if it's as fabricated as you say it is, somebody could easily come out. Somebody from Def Jam, somebody that's involved with the album, like anybody can come out and just be like, "Yo, he's full of shit."
And it's not even a diss. It's the mere idea of Kendrick just being present, making niggas uncomfortable. How crazy is that?
Nah, that's a boogeyman. We was talking about. Now they want to call everybody the boogeyman. You know, we've been calling Dot the boogeyman all year last year. And then it's Daylight's the boogeyman. And then it's Absol the boogeyman. Cut it out. You know what make a motherfucker the boogeyman? I'm scaring you and I ain't let out a syllable yet. Not a verse, not a bar, not a nothing. You already in shambles, like worried and wondering what he gonna do. That's a boogeyman. Jesus Christ, y'all. We overuse words sometimes. It be pisses me off.
And I think because people are saying, I saw some people in the chat. Somebody said that Rob Markman had said that he heard the album like almost a year ago, and that Kendrick's verse was already on there, and that it wasn't a diss or nothing like that. So we might just be speculating that we've been waiting for the Kendrick feature, but it's not the Kendrick feature that we've been waiting on.
I think it was the whole feature.
It's a whole feature. Yeah. It might be Kenny and a whole feature on this album.
No, it is.
That's what I'm calling him.
Pusha was on the interview. I forgot he was talking to Gillian Wallow, and he confirmed Hov was gonna be on the album.
I love us.
Yeah, especially if you sign the Rock Nation, that's gotta happen.
They figuring it out. Well, we already have figured it out. I love us. I love us.
Happen. That's like,
you know what I mean? So let's get it. Matter of fact, but now, tinfoil time again. But instead of me wearing the tinfoil, we're gonna confirm theories here on the Rap Roundtable. Macito to the front of the class. Because a year ago, you were one of the first people, right?
Wix gives you the power of AI to build the
about the Jay-Z of this whole Drake, who speculated about the Jay-Z of this whole Drake versus Kendrick thing, right? And as time has gone along, a lot of voices have said, whether accurate, compromised, we don't know, that Jay-Z had a betting stake, and he was betting the farm on Kendrick. The Rap Roundtable has speculated that there is a shadow arrangement, maybe not publicly agreed upon, but there is an agreement with the powers that be at Rock Nation, PG Lang, TDE, so on and so forth. We tend to recklessly speculate here at the Rap Roundtable. If you're unfamiliar, we call it reckless speculation, where we have no facts, we just read the tea leaves, see what's going on, and say something out loud. But we tell you all ahead of time, we are recklessly speculating. So
let's go.
Now that Pusha T is over here at Rock Nation, after finding a way to force himself off the label, right? I mean, now Pusha T's getting a verse. All of this noise, I gotta give you your credit. I feel like Hov been tipping his hand a little bit more than he kind of been involved in this shit the whole time. Can we talk about this, Mace?
I mean,
Can we talk about this? Let me talk about this real quick. Let's think about the people we talk about real quick. The issue between Dame and Jay-Z, right? Between the two men. Dame is not calculated. He's seeing attack. see an attack. And Jay-Z didn't like that. Jay-Z is he's very methodical. He's very methodical. Kendrick Lamar, very methodical. Pusha T, very methodical. I think we could potentially be down a path to something like that's gonna go beyond music. I cause think about it. PG Lang is set up in a way to where it's not just music. It's entertainment. Pusha T has shown an inkling to be well beyond music. He's heavy into fashion and a couple other things. And Jay-Z being Rock Nation, if you don't know, why are you here? Why are you here? Man, I hate to say it, but maybe Jay-Z did have his finger on the pulse of this a lot more than I even thought. Matter of fact, I seen Thought Crimes had something out there, and for whatever reason, I didn't tap in, because if you tap into Thought Crimes, you got to sit there for a couple hours. You really got to sit there for a couple hours, and I just wasn't really willing to commit. Ooh. Man, look, I don't think that's what the industry want at all. But we're gonna see.
And doesn't it seem like the line is being obviously drawn in the sand, even beyond this, right? Because when you think about it, even down to the little things, right? Like DJ Khaled, announcing Drake is on the record and Drake trying to write him off. DJ Khaled is Rock Nation. You know what I mean? The Drake standing with Tory Lanez thing. What is that? What does that really mean? It seems like there's really being a line drawn in the sand. And Drake, I've called him before Sammy the Owl, because Drake is a hitman, but he's telling on the crew. You know what I'm saying? He is. Teflon Lucian, it seemed like he, gave up, the deal. It basically seems like you say, there's basically a shadow war going on, right? And Drake is like, guys, like you aren't even supposed to, switch over to the other sides. That's more and more. That's what this lawsuit seems to like kind of have hovering over above it. But listen, Jay is he's doing what he's supposed to do, right? According to everybody, this really stems from Drake spurning him with the title deal. You know what I mean? Yeah. And even though Jay did end up with something like $6 million after he sold it to Square with Jack Dorsey and all of them, I think that Jay wanted that more to be like $1 billion venture. You know what I mean? Competing with Spotify and Apple Music.
Let me tell you why we have.
Seems more Spotify and Apple Music. So yeah, like this shadow war seems more and more apparent to go on. Like even, it seems like, our boy Ye might have been on one side. He's been excommunicated, you know what I mean? Because he's the hot-tempered one who can't decide what side he wants to be on. But, look at it. You know what I mean? From the Meg Thee Stallion to the, Meg Thee Stallion had problems with who? Jay Prince's people. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is all, this is, it seems like it's being multiple levels. And I'm not even saying that Drake is the Jay-Z of his situation, because if you remember, we've also speculated that Jay was trying to become a Lucian. You know what I mean? And that's really where, he's trying to make Rock Nation almost, that important and that essential. With all of the court dealings and people saying and politicians, they say a lot about Rock Nation. I'm sure UMG is into the same thing, but it seemed like that's really the goal. You know what I mean? And what better than to, take out Lucian's number one guy. You know what I mean? Maybe this all goes back to Rock Nation. I don't mean to blame it all on Obama, guys. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? But
monopoly on the touring too with all the Rock.
Are there. Tea leaves are there.
It's just facts.
Since they're the rap sound, what do you think about the Jay-Z being the shadow master of this whole scenario.
To those who don't know, because I'm gonna let Sincere cook, and then I'm gonna get my little final thoughts before we get out of here. Because I know this one went way longer than I wanted it to. But for those who don't know, all these tour locations are Rock Nation venues. They have deals with the stadium owner for percentages on the gate and all this, that, and the third. Something I'm hoping that being a Browns fan and us being finally granted our brand new multi-billion-dollar stadium, I'm hoping the Haslam group, the Haslam Sports Group, which would technically own the stadium, makes a deal with Rock Nation. Because then when you make that deal, especially for a stadium, it gives you an upper leg on getting included into that tour, because Rock Nation will sell that location to big tours. Like it's dumb money.
As the Kendrick fan, I know you don't like the idea that there's a Jay-Z element involved. What are your thoughts? or do you? Let me not speak for you. What do you think?
I'm fine with it. I think at the end of the day, you know what I mean, I'm always going to look at it. People are going to look at it from different angles. I'm always going to look at things from a cultural standpoint. And whether people out there like it or not, because I know, you know, how much people hate Jay-Z out there. Like, Hov is culture. You know what I mean? Hov, he's as hip-hop as it gets. And you have him at this status that he has at this point in his career, at this point in time, 50 years into hip-hop, and to be able to have, you know what I mean, the power that he has and be able to wield it. I think from a cultural standpoint, I don't think he liked the direction things was going. I think, you know what I mean, he probably looked at Drake and was like, oh, like, you know what I mean, again with the title deal, I don't think it was just personal. I think it was like, nah, like this is, we're trying to look out for the culture and you are trying to do your own thing. You know what I mean? And you're trying to now be bigger than the culture. Nobody's bigger than the culture. The culture is what it is, and we're trying to look out for it and nurture it. You know what I mean? And that's from a cultural standpoint, beyond like what I was talking about. I think there's also that element of it too, where like, yeah, we got to protect it and nurture it. Nobody's bigger than the culture. And Drake, you know, from everything that we've seen, the way he was moving and the way he continues to move, like he feels like he's bigger than everything, bigger than the culture itself. And, you know, nobody's that big, you know what I mean? And I think this is Hov's way of trying to, you know what I mean? If he is involved, if he has that hidden hand in there, you know what I mean? That we're going to put you in your place. We're going to make you understand that this culture is ours and you're not about to, you know, come in and try to, you know, pretend like you're bigger than it. You know what I mean? The culture is culture and that's it.
Well said. I agree with you. I think that's what's dope about hip hop. We all own it. I have an ownership in it. I get to sit here, talk about it, whatever. Y'all have an ownership in it. Y'all gonna have to agree with what I say. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. That's what the comments is for. The artists have ownership in it because they're the ones doing the creating. It's hip hop is basically just the best way to look at it. Look at it as weed. For those of y'all who are like hippies, like, you know, on some black hippie type energy, weed is cool when you smoke it by yourself. But when you smoke it with the homies, it just hit different. You know what I'm saying? And that's hip hop. Yeah, it's cool. But it's better when you share it and mix different ideas, different styles. Everybody likes something different. Everybody gets something different. Like, there's somebody in music who life problem is gonna help them create something that helps me or you or whatever deal with some shit. But getting to the Jay-Z part, because I always look at everything from a surface level. I don't be trying to be overly deep. It just be like for no reason. But if all of this maneuvering is going on behind the scenes, what do y'all think? There's a lot of moving and shaking. But can y'all envision a music industry to where Jay-Z gets himself, he'll never be as powerful as Lucian, you know, the whole Jewish thing or whatever. But if he got himself fairly close and with somebody of hip hop with their finger on the scale, do we get better music? Do cats who would normally not get an opportunity get an opportunity? Well, I mean, I think with Jay-Z, you know, if he can go find himself at another level, he might be the one that can really get the proper respect for hip hop that is vastly overdue. I guess that's gonna be my starting opinion. Like, I gotta sit and think on this one. Cause I never paid attention to all that extra stuff. I care about the music, really. But this is something. Let me know what y'all think, cause I'm gonna ponder it, and we're gonna talk about it later with some other things. But yeah, I'm gonna ponder on this one. I'm gonna think on this one. Cause that's a lot of moving and shaking in the background, bro. But I'm Oops Great. This is Kush Equilibrium. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I appreciate y'all sitting through this long one. It's over 50 minutes. So I definitely appreciate y'all. I'm gonna chop this up and get it to y'all, and we're gonna talk about it.